this week we've been hearing from various pop stars who've moved into films. We spoke to Sting and of course to Bob Geldof. Well, our special guests this morning are Gary and Martin Kemp from, of course, Spandau Ballet, who are just about to play the notorious Kray Twins in a film of the same name, and they're with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Hello.
Why do you think it is that pop stars seem to be going into the movies in a big way these days?
I don't know. I think there's a very close link between the two industries, you know, the music business and film business. But I personally get really angry that lots of people in bands and rock music think there's a natural progression just for the fact that they've been on a video, like a few videos and making music and have been shot really nicely. I think that it's a natural thing. The next thing to do is to go into acting. They're two completely different ideas, right? Where Gary and I, for everything we learnt that we used in the band, we learnt from a drama school.
That's right. So you both were sort of trained as actors anyway, weren't you, Gary?
I mean, I'd like to think that we were chosen for the role not because we were in a band and because we were well known already. I think they had to choose brothers, and people knew that we'd already done like 7 years with Anna Scher in London training as actors, and that we were always wanting to move back into making films. And the Krays was something that we always wanted to do, because to play brothers on screen was something that excited us as well.
We're going to talk some more about the film a little bit later, but I'm intrigued by your acting career. I mean, what sort of parts have you played, Martin, in the past?
Well, I think in the 8 years we were at school, I think Gary and I had something like 30 television shows. But we done Play for Todays and comedy playhouses, and I done the thing, Glistering Prizes, when I was 14. And but it all finished when we were 15 and we wanted to become pop stars.
Yeah, I mean, have you always kind of had it at the back of your mind though, Gary, that, you know, one day you'd like to get back into the acting?
Well, definitely, yeah. I mean, films interest us, and we've made like 18 videos, and we like working on a set. That's exciting as well. But this film in particular, I actually didn't really think about making another film. But for the last 4 years, the idea of playing the Krays has always been on my mind.
Really, even before someone approached you to do it?
Before it was offered to us, yeah. Because
I think that particular role is the easiest and most natural role that we could have ever been offered. It's almost as if we're not even going to have to act. You know what I mean? It's almost as if we're just going to go in and play ourselves, because it's the same sort of we're the same sort of people with the same sort of background.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, we have the truth that we are really brothers to draw on when we're on screen. I think that's what we'll be doing.
How did they actually decide which one of you would play which brother?
No, everyone was convinced that they knew it was this way round, that I was to play Ronnie and he was to play Reggie. And in fact, when we went to see Ronnie last week, he just said straight away, he said, "You're more like me and he's more like my brother."
Yeah.
So, I don't know why.
Oh, I do.
He does.
Go on then, you tell us, Martin.
I can't.
I think it's the relationship that we have as brothers is similar to the relationship that Ronnie had with Reggie.
And now here we have a shot of Martin and Gary as they look in the film, and it really is quite staggering, the resemblance. And perhaps we'll have a look at what they look like this morning, which is somewhat different. It is incredible how they got you to look like that.
Well, it's good fun. It was the first time, you know, that we were made up in separate rooms and then brought together later. And it was the first time I walked into the room. I thought it was me sitting there. I was like, it's incredible. The first time for years I'd seen the same, like the resemblance between us.
Once they'd blacked our hair to be the same, and you know, just really bringing some of our features together with makeup. It was really good to sort of sit in the mirror and look at each other, and we did look much more alike than we've ever done before.
Was the story of the Kray Twins something that you actually grew up with? Because you're sort of East End lads, aren't you?
Well, it's well, not far, North London, but it's something that is a legend in London. Our parents are the same age as the Krays, and as kids I always remembered hearing about them. And I think before they came to trial, they did have a charisma that made people sort of look in awe towards them, a kind of Robin Hood thing. It wasn't until the real truth came out in the trial that a lot of people sort of stood back in horror at what really the Krays were about.
Martin, you actually met one of the Krays, didn't you?
Yeah, we met Ronnie in Broadmoor the other week.
And what was that like?
It was fascinating, incredibly fascinating.
What was he like?
Well, it seems really weird to say, but he was very polite, he was kind.
He's a really nice man.
He seemed like a really nice uncle. But I mean,
he clearly wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, but it was fascinating for that reason. But it was very sad as well. We walked out afterwards, and you went into the West End. And you saw everyone getting on with their life, and it was just a really good thing to go in there and come out and feel that these people were in that prison for 30 years. It was really.
The saddest thing is like
I suppose there's one thing actually that people may think when they hear that you're about to make a film, which is quite a glamorous thing, about a piece of really horrific, quite recent history. Isn't there a danger of kind of glamorising it?
Well, I think the Kray Twins were glamorous people. They were incredibly charismatic, and so we have to play them in that way. But that's not to glamorise what they did. I don't think we could glamorise the violence. In fact, it's the juxtaposition of the violence and them as being very glamorous, very, almost pop stars, you know, with people like David Bailey wanted to take their picture, and Judy Garland wanted to go out and drink with them, and people like that. It was that juxtaposition is the horror of the film, I think.
Martin, will the film actually be violent itself?
I should say, good guess. Yeah. I mean, it's essential. What's in it is essential. It's essential, like Gary says, to show 1 minute they're at home with their family and they're ordinary people and nice and they love their mum and dad and look after their parents and their uncles and brothers and they love their aunt. And the next minute they're going into town and they're committing these murders and horrific crimes. And so it's good to show the two sides of it and why it happened and where it come from.
One final question, which I know all Spandau Ballet fans will be sitting there just watching thinking, oh dear, does this mean they're going to give up the band?
No, we're actually in the middle of recording an album back in London.
Great, well we hope to see the film in Cannes next year. Thanks ever so much for coming up and chatting to us this morning. Thanks.